Hi guys, and welcome to this video, which is going to be basically a compilation of some of the IMs which I will be reviewing in more detail in the coming weeks. The first one that I have for you is the NM25. This is the latest from NFAcous. The NM25, my apologies, is a single dynamic priced at $199. It's a continuation, or it follows on the series which was known as the NA2+ and the NM2+, which were full metal shell IEMs from NFAcous, and as you can see, there's a lot of similarities in this new shell, which is over here, compared to the older one over there. They're basically identical. The difference is internally. I've got here the NA20, which was one of the IEMs that I also used in my listening that I've been doing. It basically uses the NM25 basically uses the MC2L driver, which is an in-house developed driver which has suffered various improvements over the years. It's the same driver that you find here as well in the NA20. But in this version here of the NM25, it's the 100A version, let's put it that way. And what it sports is an improved flux density on the magnetic sides to better control the diaphragm, and coupled to what they've done as well internally of the with regards to the shell, which is the SRA 2.0 selective reflection adjustment. It's basically, you could call it a helmet's resonator of sorts, okay, and that's again used there to control better the venting from the front chamber to the rear chamber of the driver, and in that method improving the overall sound. With regards to the sound, and like I said, I'll be reviewing this in more detail. There is the NFAcous typical sound, let's say, profile, but in this particular case here, it's been improved upon in a manner where although it is a tendentially brighter sounding IM, the way that they've been able to tune the shell with the mentioned driver has conferred to the NM25 probably one of the most impressive, probably one of the most impressive bass performances I've heard. It's impressive not in the sense of being ultra deep, although it reaches decently low. But that's not where the NM25 impresses. The NM25 impresses in the way that the higher frequencies and then the lower frequencies are matched, and that those higher frequencies and the way that they've tuned the higher frequencies cleans up the lower frequencies so much that it endows them with this clarity and with this detail and with this impact, which is just unbelievable, honestly. That said, obviously there are some details which must be taken into account. I would say that due to the nature of this tuning, which is a more monitoring type of tuning, you don't really have to play the IM very loud for it to generate some really serious volume levels. But really impressive IM. I have to say, I've reviewed some really outstanding single DDs as of late. I mean, the ODA, the One Dot Audio D100, the Helios, fantastic IM. This was really impressive. The Plunge Audio Unity Dynamic, without a doubt, one of the best, if not the best, probably even at its price point, a single dynamic driver using this type of tuning that they've done here in the Unity. Absolutely incredible IM. That said, I mean, I couldn't say what I've just mentioned without having obviously here the Dita Audio, the Prelude, again, a phenomenal IM. And what all of these IMs have in common is that their tuning style is very much along the lines of the NM25. Perhaps the Helios, the ODA Helios, is probably a little bit warmer sounding, but they all have, as does as well the new Winter 2 from BQEYZ. So if these IMs that I mentioned, the BQEYZ, the Helios, from ODA, the Unity Dynamic from Plunge Audio, or the Dita Audio Prelude. If these IMs or IMs that you've liked or that you like because you own them already or you've heard or something, then the NM25 will definitely be an IM that will fall within a category that you will probably also like. The next set of IMs that I've also been listening to and have been thoroughly impressed by their overall performance is the INTUAURA Audio Impact and the Reference 2019, which is over here. The Reference 2019, what it does have, actually, sorry, over here, this is the standard cable, and the standard cable has a DSP. The Reference 2019, and I'll start with that one, has a sound which obviously you will get the best out of it, or you will get that 2019 tuning, let's put it that way, with the accompanying DSP and the cable that it's attached to. But used with just a normal cable like I've done over here, what you get is a sound which is very, very reminiscent of, for example, the ODA, the D100 from the ODA D100 Helios, and that's pretty impressive. Honestly, I was really impressed. I wasn't expecting it. With the attached cable and the DSP tuning that it brings, it sounds like a Harman tuning. Okay, clean bass, very easy to like it. Very, very easy to like. The Impact is an IM which was in essence supposed to be significantly more expensive than what it ended up being. This is an IM that costs around $90 to $100, depends where you're getting it from, and it kind of shares a lot of the, let's say, internals as the balance, the INTUAURA balance, which I've reviewed, and the INTUAURA balance, if you guys remember, I mentioned that perhaps the only thing that I would have liked in order for it to be more competitive would have been for the price to have been slightly lower. And I think with the Impact, they've basically maybe heard what I said. And the price is a reflection of that. It's an IM that has got a different tuning to the balance. It's got significantly more bass, although then the mids, the upper mids and treble are very similar. But it's an IM which kind of reminds me, if the balance, okay, when I talked about the balance, if the balance kind of had vibes of the Puller Unicron, which I have over here, I can comfortably say that the Impact more so. Why? Because the bass is very similar to the Puller, the Impact, and perhaps even better quality, I would say. I would go far as saying better quality. It's a really, really solid sounding IM. It had some vibes on occasions of the EPZ, the Q5. I'm trying to find here. EPZ Q5, where is it? You guys know which one I'm talking about. The EPZ Q5, the updated version, which is this one here, the Pro version, if I'm mistaken, that's how they called it. And also, it kind of remind me as well a little bit of the M1 from TypeC. I remember when I reviewed the M1, I said that the M1 was a solid competitor for the Puller, and that I stand by that. It definitely is. And now basically you have another alternative in the form of the Impact. Like I said, the name is basically already giving it away. While the balance, yes, is a more balanced sounding IM, the Impact definitely has a phenomenal bass execution, more so than the Puller Unicron, I would say, like I mentioned. And then also in the upper end, it has the ability to be more solid sounding, I would say, as well. The similarities, like I said, between the Impact and the Puller, the Unicron, are quite significant. And you know, being more or less the same price, I would say, you know, it's down to your preference. The similarities are quite high. I'm not going to deny. I would say maybe the Unicron, maybe a little bit more detail above 10K, but honestly, phenomenal IM. It's got an open back shell design. This is not obviously the stock cable. The stock cable is actually the one that's over there. And I think it's these little details that they've done which have also made the price come down possibly as much as it did. But anyway, INTUAURA balance, a phenomenal IM, like I say. balance, sorry, my apologies. INTUAURA Impact, phenomenal IM, especially when you consider that this IM was going to be significantly more expensive, and they were able to, by cutting corners here in terms of the overall accessories, to bring it down below that $100 price point and make it obviously way more competitive. Another IM that actually also I was kind of reminded on occasion here and there by the Impact was the TNFI, the T4S. Really nice IM, really nice IM, which I think didn't get the deserved attention that it should have gotten, but really solid IM. Anyway, that's the INTUAURAs out of the way, the Impact and the 2019 reference. The next one now here is the KBEar the Tourbillion. I think that's the way to say it. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. This is their latest single DD. I have seen this IM anywhere from just over $50 to $90. Nice accessories package, really nice accessory package. Nice case, nice cable, nice tips. It's got the it brings these TRI tips, as you can see. These Clarion, TRI Clarion, I believe they're called. Solid construction, really solid construction. Sound wise, what is it like? It's very similar again to the Pula Unicron and to the INTUAURA Impact, on that same sort of sound. Nice, solid, well executed bass, clean mids that don't, no bleeding, no nothing, and then a really nice execution of the upper end with no shout, no aggressiveness, no fatiguing sense to the sound, nothing. Really solid IM from KBEar, and about time, because I mean their releases have been a little bit lackluster, and finally with the Tourbillon, they kind of take us back to the time of the Ink and the Ink 2 and those IMs, which maybe back then when they were released, people also didn't truly value them and acknowledge their uniqueness, but those were really good, and if they were still available today, I'm sure that they would be doing way better than what they did back when they were released in 2022, 2023, if I'm not mistaken. So this takes us back to more or less that excuse me, that tuning style that they had. So solid IM. This takes me now into the big boy territory, and the first big boy territory that I have here is the SoundRhyme, the SR10. And I have to say that when listening to the SR10, I was very much reminded of some of the offerings from HISENIOR, namely the Mega7, Mega5 EST, the 7th anniversary, and the bass edition. I would say this is kind of an in-between with regards to the bass of those two. And I was also reminded to a certain extent of the HISENIOR Cano Cristales. It also has that sort of vibe. Why do I say that it has that sort of vibe? Well, because of the bass, the way that the bass has been executed here in the SR10 is pretty impressive. If you recall the Cano Cristales, that had that dual DD setup, which also we found it here in the SR10. There's 2 DDs and then 8 BAs. I'm not sure if they're 8mm or 10mm, but it's that dual DD setup here that really makes the bass so impressive. It's very present, but because and I'm assuming again it's a two-way factor. Not only the fact that we have a aluminum alloy CNC shell, but we also have 2 good quality LCP drivers. Although the bass is quite prominent, it's clean, it's detailed, and honestly, what a pleasant surprise the SR10 is. I mean, obviously we're talking about $499, and at that price point we have a lot of competition, a lot of IMs present at this price, and even below we have very solid IMs. So the SR10 has to have done its work really well. A small little correction, it's not 8 BAs, it's 4 BAs and 4 microplanars. My apologies, I'm already getting a little bit tired. So this is a tribrid, not a hybrid. My apologies, I'm really sorry. So 2 DDs, 4 BAs, and 4 microplanars. So it kind of, you could say it goes along the lines of some of the offerings that we found from Dunu lately. It's got some of the offerings from CKLVX, and Sleevo also follow kind of this three-way or triple driver topology setup. In terms of the mids and the highs, very much a sound which is the PENON sound as of late. Nice thick mid-range, the vocals are really well done, and then the highs, the microplanars, the way that they've been implemented, never, at least I didn't found them to be in any way or form or shape aggressive or anything, and I think it's like I said, it's the integration of the bass, the mids and the highs. They kind of, the microplanars help clean up the bass energy that you have, and give it the clarity which is really impressive, while at the same time that bass presence helps make any sort of aggressiveness or any sort of non-pleasant tonality that the microplanars and even the BAs might have be non-present or been by no means a problem. Like I said, really impressive. Obviously it's got its work cut out because there's some serious offerings out there. Okay, so that's the SR10. The other one is the HISENIOR, the Mega7, yes, Mega7P. Sorry, Mega7P, the Mega7. 1+6, so nothing out of the ordinary there. As you can see there, very nice shell, nice faceplate. It has again a tuning which is kind of fetching vibes from the Mega5 EST, the 7th anniversary, and the base edition. Kind of has that sort of vibe there. Mids very similar. But the impressive thing here that has really caught my attention with regards to the 7 to the Mega7 is the way that the treble has been done. You would be hard pressed to think that maybe there aren't any ESTs here. They've really, very much like in the Astral from KBEar, they've really been able to find here the formula that makes those BAs sound clean, detailed, but no metallicness, no aggressiveness, no fatiguing, nothing. And to the point that, like I said, you almost think that, okay, well, there's some ESTs there. Really nice. That's what I can say. Really, very. This is the latest IM that I've received, so I haven't still listened to it a lot. But the listening sessions that I've done so far, of the Mega7, very impressed. I would probably say that maybe even possibly better than the Mega7, the Mega5 EST. In terms of musicality, okay, maybe, just maybe. But again, like I said, this is subjected to me having a little bit more listening time to it and really seeing what it is capable of doing. Because in essence, the difference here is just the fact that there's no ESTs and they've added more BAs. That's in essence the difference. So, HISENIOR Mega7, really impressive, solid IEM. Price, let me just confirm here. HISENIOR Mega7, I believe it's in the Mega7 upper $400 price point as well. My apologies, I'm trying to find, yes, $449. Okay, so very similar in terms of price to the SoundRhyme, the SR10. So these two out of the way, and the last two IEMs that I have are from PENON, which is the PENON Fan3s, which I have over there, and the single dynamic, the UNIQ, which is this one over here. Okay, so 3S and the UNIQ. The 3S, what is the 3S? The 3S is the continuation of the Fan series. The Fan 3, if you guys recall, was a 2DD, 2 BA and 1 bone conduction IM. I could probably think that I'm not going to be incorrect when I say that PENON was the first to actually come up with this dual DD, dual BA setup, with then still the addition of a bone conduction, before even the likes of the Crescent and other IMs like that, the Quatio and so on. What can I say about the 3S now? The 3S compared to the previous Fan3, they've changed the 6.2mm bio diaphragm drivers found in the Fan3, but for two 6mm carbon fiber drivers. The BAs are still a Knowles and a Sonion, and the bone conduction is a 10mm bone conduction. You still have that switch that allows you to switch on or off the bone conduction. And what I can say about the fan is that yes, it's $349, and again, yes, you have some really solid IMs at that price point. But the Fan3S, definitely, I've been a fan of the Fan3 very much so. But the Fan3S is definitely an improvement over the Fan3. Really, really, really very good. Very good. I was really impressed. It goes back in terms of sound more to the older profile that PENON used to use. But it's fantastic. I initially, when I heard about it, I thought, okay, they're just changing the drivers. Okay, let's see. And the tuning has been slightly touched up, obviously, because of the different drivers. But I was not expecting the difference to be as big as the one that I did notice. And I've got the PENON, I've got the fan over here, the Fan3, as you can see, and I went back and forth with the two of them. And if I liked the Fan3, I'd really, really like the Fan3S. Okay, so that's the PENON Fan3S out of the way. And finally, then, yeah, the UNIQ, the single dynamic metal shell, really nice 10mm driver. Tuning style is a tuning style which again reminds us very much of the likes of the ODA, the D100, or perhaps even to a certain extent as well, a little bit some of the IMs from Euracoustic, the SPA Pro Max or the SPA high-end Max. There's a very high degree of similarity between the sound of the UNIQ and the sound of those IMs as well. The plunge audio, the Unity Dynamic also has a tuning profile which is very similar here to the UNIQ. What can I say? I've been listening to it as well, only over the last few days. I would say that the best possible way to compare it would be, it's very much like the plunge Unity, just not as detailed as the plunge Unity Dynamic. Okay, the plunge Unity Dynamic is a little bit more dynamic, more clean, and a little bit more detailed in the upper end, and this is a little bit darker sounding. You can say, oh, okay, then it's more similar than to the D100, the Helios. No, the D100 Helios has got more bass than the UNIQ. I actually found, although the three of them share a very high level of similarity in their tuning, I actually found the sound of the UNIQ to be more approximate of the sound of the plunged Unity Dynamic. And that's basically the IMs that I will be reviewing now in the next coming few days. I've also received, like I showed in another video, the new from 7Hertz, the Divine, and the two planar IMs from 7Hertz. I've also got some cheap IMs that I received, namely the CVJ Neko, which I have to say was a pleasant surprise as well. Again, I had already reviewed the limited edition version, but this new version, it's priced at $30 roughly. And let me tell you something, very, very impressive. Nice shell, nice cable, very nice. Anyway, that's basically it, guys. If there is any IM in particular that you would like to see the review for first, let me know, and I'll do my best to maybe put that IM first. Otherwise, I'll just see. I'll probably start with the NM25 and then go from there, get all the single dynamics out of the way, and then pass on to the multiple driver ones. Okay. Anyway, guys, as always, like and subscribe. Any questions, please feel free to ask me. Take care now. Bye bye.